Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. This is Gameweek 13 preview. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome my co-host first, Azmin, to the stream. How's your feeling after Game Week 12?
I would say the right word is relieved. Because it's so looking at some of the it could also have gone differently. But yeah, I'm quite content with how it went for me.
Right, later we touch on your team and definitely Afosz to the stream. How's things after last week?
For me, it's a bit frustrating to say the least. I just want to move forward and try to recover all the lost points from Game 12.
All right. Okay. As you guys can see, the rank Azmin has gone up to 211k. I was slightly below 164k, but myself from 4 plus 4.7 million now 5.5 million. The difference is between three of us. I do not own Salah. And after last week, game week 12, as much as I'm a stubborn person not to pick Salah because I still believe in Haaland, but last week horror show by Man City, I think it's really opened up my eyes that I should not be stubborn and pick the form players of which Mo Salah is. I think that's what happened last week, and definitely the feeling even between captaining Haaland or Salah also is a big gap because last week whoever captained Haaland will only get 4 points, 2 points times 2. And Salah got 13, so that's a big gap, 11 points there. So that also make an impact. But at least whoever have Haaland and Salah will feel much better than whoever do not own Salah at all, like myself, who really definitely I almost needed to make the transfer, but I still hold on to it. But it's definitely what happened last week. So what do you think? Just a quick one before we go in depth, man. Salah looks like essential and Haaland no longer what we are expecting.
Yeah, it was how at the start after the first few weeks you were thinking, Perma captain is Haaland is boring, he's screwed, he's making the game no fun, well, how is it now, you bums, you lazy bums, now you got to think, now it's not everything is about Haaland. Now people are complaining, but it's not good for the game again, but it's this is just part of the game. So we have to adapt, and things can easily change in football. Salah can easily suddenly start blanking as well. So all I'm saying is that you can't assume everything will go the same way that it has. Things can change. Loss of form. City, who were so invincible, suddenly they are looking really bad. Yeah, not even good, but not even decent, but bad.
I don't expect people are thinking like City lost 4-0 at home to Spurs. I don't see anyone think of that result, right?
No, not at all. I was just like, what's going on? What? I just, I mean, you would talk that the 2 week of international break, a bit of recovery, some regroup, and and Pep signed a new contract.
Yes, the narrative Haaland scored hat-trick, right, during the international fixture, right?
Yeah, so you think that there's some refreshing.
And some more Spurs no first centre back partnership. You did mention that.
Yes, and they lost to bloody Ipswich. So it was like, but then that's Spurs for you. They randomly win once and then lose badly to a lower team, and then now they win again against City.
Afosz, just to share, game week 12 most captain. It's a close fight actually because Haaland captain by 3.7 million and Salah 3.5 million. So there is a small gap if you whether you're in the Haaland camp or Salah camp. So if you're in the Haaland camp, you lose the 11 points because for the top 5 players who captain last week, Haaland, Palmer, Isaac, Okay, those people are looking at all blank,
Yeah.
and Salah got his 8 double digit of the season. Afosz, I know you have Salah. Let me quick take a look. At least you captain Salah, and later we touch it. But for someone who doesn't have Salah, it is some easy
Yeah.
to say that we should get him in, right?
Yeah, you know, Salah has been in the in the EPL for what, 8 seasons now, and he's never in any of those seasons that he has below 200 points. I think he's a keeper throughout this whole season. I've been seeing that I think in each and every live stream. So yeah, I think Salah at the moment is essential rather than Haaland, because I think those who wildcarded Game week 6 and chooses not to have Haaland in their team and have Salah instead, they've been improving their rank quite a lot actually. So yeah, at the moment, having no Salah in your team is quite okay, but no Haaland in your team quite okay, but no Salah, you know the feeling, Hafiz.
You can see the rank 100 to 100
Yeah.
rank you're now, and I'm at 5 million. So the gap, if I look at the total points, the gap is like 150 points. So it is big, because when I decided to wildcard in game week 6, I still remember somewhere there that people are doing that wildcarding option. I did go without Salah, and I kept captaining Haaland all the way. Can you imagine that? And no Salah.
And
So I
and he's
only
been
got
blanking
like,
seat ever since then.
only one return, if I remember, that
Yeah,
Southampton
correct.
game.
Yeah, only one
And
goal.
that's all. And that's all. Others, you can put like XG, how many Haaland have. But in the end, outcome, that counts, and he doesn't deliver any attack returns, which definitely impact my rank. But I now definitely in game week 13, I'm looking at to address that. And but I haven't made my move. Let's see how the Champions League matches will happen. Who knows, right? Who knows? But I don't want to jinx anyone, because I don't want simply jump to Salah and then I jinx Salah in the crucial week of this week, which is Man City versus Liverpool. Right? So let's go to our team. Go to Azmin first. You scored the highest this week, 65. The average point was 49. And
Okay.
you can see that 65 jump you slightly, but still a green arrow for you.
All right. So defensive line, not much. Gabriel got me a clean sheet. My keeper dilemma in the end made no difference. They both scored 2 points. My two defenders, Robinson and Guardiola, both scored 0 because both were hammered 4 goals. Both
Yeah.
teams were hammered by 4 goals, so I
Agree,
ended up
agree.
with 0, which meant my two benched defenders, Out Nuri and Justin, actually scored more, which was like, totally not expected, considering Wolves were playing Fulham and Leicester were playing Chelsea. So yeah, but I was still hoping for some attacking returns from Robinson and Guardiola, which is what we tend to do, but nothing happened. Villa had a poor game. So this is the point where I was trying to figure out how to bench my players, and I was oscillating between Rogers, Out Nuri, Guardiola, between those three. And I was doing last minute moving around trying to decide. And then after that, right towards the end, I saved and then I got locked out and I just went fresh. I couldn't know. Then when I looked back, when I finally was after it got unlocked again, I looked up. Why is Mbuemo on my bench? And Johnson, who I had always meant to bench, was there in my starting lineup. So in the end, it turned out to be right because Mbeumo blanked and Johnson actually scored against City. So
And some more, the sweeter thing, Johnson come off bench to score that
yes,
goal, right?
he didn't even start. I thought I only found that when I woke up in the morning. But yeah, so yeah, I was like, okay, yeah. But Rogers had a poor game and not really unexpected. considering the Villa's loss of personnel. They did end up scoring 2 goals, but you know, as I suspected, Roger spent a lot more time defending, so he had to do a lot more tracking back in the absence of Onana, in the absence of Kamara and Konza. It's just made it hard for that. So McNeil, who I was really hoping would do something, but blanked against Flecken, who ended up scoring 9 points. For those who haven't, well done. So this is my last hurrah for McNeil, and
Okay.
I thought if he can't score against Brentford, that's it, because after this he has bad fixtures. Johnson, we talked about Salah, of course, a captain. So the decision to captain Salah, as you remember during our I was oscillating between Salah, Haaland. I really couldn't figure it out. But then I just went for the safe route, because figuring that it's top versus bottom. And because the risk was Salah would be substituted early.
Yep. I think we
So
discussed
that was the main, and because once they save, because you think that Liverpool were able to score easily against Southampton, and he gets subbed out early, which turned out to not be the case at all.
He played the full
Southampton
minute,
were-
right?
Yes, Liverpool were bad, so Southampton was scoring, and it was so and but as a result, we know that Salah scores a lot more in the second half this season, and that's what happened. So he scored his first brace this season on this weekend, which he had never scored. He's only gotten 1 goal, 1 assist at the most. So this is the first time he's actually scored 2 goals. So yeah, good stuff there. Raul was very unlucky. He hit the bar when the goal was open and could have scored. Cunha, what can I say? Since I picked him up in 9, he's returned 4 games in a row for me, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's returned in all 4 games. So very happy at that. And of course, he who we shall not talk about, this Viking from Norway, Earl of Norway, what have you, he's gone. He's totally not in it. He got his chances, so you can't say he didn't get chances. KDB did, give him some chances, and he did get his own chances as well. But he couldn't score, which when you look at those chances, Haaland of last season would have scored. It would not be an issue. He could do it with his eyes closed, no look goals or something, and that didn't happen. So I got lucky there, because I was really undecided, because both the opposition, Southampton and Spurs had issues in defense. Southampton were missing Bednarek and Ramsdale. Spurs were missing their 2 centre backs, VDV and Romero. So yeah, I mean, you got to look at City and wonder what's going on there, and might have to divest of their assets.
Right. We touch on your transfer plan later on Haaland. Definitely, that's what you're thinking right now. And let's go to Afosz team, because he's scored more than me, definitely. 44, slightly lower than 49, but his strength still decent, 62 to 163. Nothing to worry, right, Afosz? Because spoiler, I think Afosz is definitely determined to repair his team by wildcarding this week, right?
Yep. Game week 12, even though my point is slightly higher than you, Hafiz, but I really hate looking at these points returns with all 3 defenders with 0 points. It's like playing blank game week, 7 players only giving you points. So
I can imagine.
It's a frustrating one, especially those defenders are City and Liverpool. You would never expect they will give you 0 points. So yeah, things happen, and especially because if I can remember that each time City is facing any team that has a very bad defense, or maybe their centre backs are injured or whatnot, the game turns out to be different. Instead of City thrashing them, is the other way around, if I can recall it correctly. I think remember one time, last time against Norwich, if I'm not mistaken, their defenders are injured, and then suddenly they are playing so well, and then a few and then a few more games I can't really remember. So this time around, it's against Spurs, where losing their main centre backs, we will expect that City is going to trash them, because Spurs have been doing quite poor, and then who knows, suddenly Spurs trashing them instead, 4-0.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a frustrating one, having triple up cities. And then I got lucky because I captained Salah. I almost captained Haaland, to be honest.
Okay.
I I almost got because
Almost,
and
yeah.
then
Okay.
almost, really almost, because last minute I thought that because I have Salah, why not just play it safe like Azmin. So for those who
Safe, playing
don't have,
safe, huh? Okay.
so for those who don't have Salah, so for sure, if I don't have Salah, for sure I'll be captaining Haaland. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
last minute change, I captain Salah, so it does not so badly written. So and the rest is just 2 pointers and Wood coming off the bench, no returns.
I
And
think
surprisingly
I
is
think
that Salah and Haaland have the same number of shots and same number of shots inside the box, but only Salah provided returns. So yeah, it's a frustrating one.
I think one more player that you forgot to touch is Henderson, 7 points. Azmin did quick
7 points, yeah.
shared with me that Henderson saved a penalty. So that's still a decent point that probably when you see the result to all draw with Aston Villa, you expect that 1 pointer, right? 7, I still feel there's still uh,
7 points from keeper, still good points. Because
yeah.
I was looking at the the result, the notification, and then suddenly Henderson saved a penalty. So yeah, they got points. Doesn't matter how many they concede anymore. So they got points for
Yes,
saving
yes.
penalties.
Yeah. On that penalty thing, Villa, Tillsman can't continue to take the penalty. Someone else has to. But Watkins
Yeah.
doesn't. Watkins apparently he's bad at it. So
Okay.
could Rogers be the one? We don't know.
Yeah, if we remember last season, Douglas Luiz is the penalty taker for
Yep.
Aston Villa. But this season, with him leaving to Juventus, if Tielemans could not do the work, who else? Maybe McGinn. I'm not sure who the other that and I don't know whether Watkins can step up to that role. But that is the. I would love Rodgers to take penalty, right? He actually took a penalty some game, right? I forgot which game, Carabao Cup or something, right? I forgot,
No,
but Rogers
I
did.
think what's in the
International, is it?
I thought it was the international, so it's under
Yeah,
21.
yeah, I think so. So potentially maybe, but Rogers is a 5 million player who you might not expect so much, and especially versus Crystal Palace, he doesn't deliver anything, right? Okay. Afosz, definitely. Later we take a look how you're going to line up in your wildcard team. I think that's the focus for today. And let's jump to my team. 33 points. What worse can happen if you captain Haaland and no Salah? Benching Cunha could be the worst thing that can happen to me this week. 33 points. Let me justify why I bench Cunha. Can I say that? Because
Sure.
because when we analyze from my player, Semenyo, Rahul, Rogers, Foden all play at home. So we expect player who play at home, they should have more advantage to deliver. And the fact we are contemplating whether Rahul going to start or not, from comment Marco Silva mentioned, he is definitely a starter, and that's another reason I put that. So it left me with two away player. Mbomo away to Everton and Cunha away to Fulham. And when I actually see the odds of players scoring, Cunha is not in the list of top players to score projected. And Wolves are expected to score odds 1.08, the lowest from all teams. Bournemouth, Villa, and so on. And even Wolves are expected to score more than one. So that's where I decide to bench Cunha. But maybe I do not take into account Cunha is someone is on form rather than Semenyo, rather than Jimenez to an extent, Rogers and so on. And it's very painful when I saw that Fulham versus Wolves match, because I want to see that Raul Jimenez scored against Wolves. Despite I'm having Anuri in my team, Raul did had a chance but hit the crossbar. But after that, Cunard scored 1 goal and 1 assist. I quickly switched on to see other matches, Bournemouth versus Brighton, I suppose. And then that match, when I switch on, I saw Semenyo kena yellow card. So can you imagine that feeling? So Semenyo gonna be banned for next week, and this is what happened to my team. But I am still determined that it is still early season. There's plenty of time, and I definitely going to repair my team this week. We shall see what my transfer plan will be. Other than that, Flecken 9 points, clean sheet. For God's sake, I don't know how long it took. Finally, he got that clean sheet away to Everton, and 2 bonus points, if I'm right. Gabriel clean sheet. I could easily go double Arsenal defense in the form of Timber, but I decided not to go for Liverpool. But who expect Liverpool to concede 2 goals against Southampton and Konate being yellow card? And now Konate is in danger because he has been cautioned 4 times. And it's just a matter of another yellow card. He will be banned for 1 match. Hopefully not the easy match, but you just never know against City this week, and then later be benched for the Newcastle or the Everton game, which is not nice. As since I have a light bench in the form. In the end, I mean, maybe the right decision is just to play Mykolenko, Everton and Brentford near. So maybe that could be the misfortune, but I still so you can see all my other player blank. Palmer, Semenyo, Foden, Bomo, Rogers, up to Haaland. So that's what happened to my team this week. Terrible. And my rank really, when comparing you with you guys, I'm in the millions, you're in the 100,000, 200,000, and my gap between you guys is like 150, 170 points. But it's still, I'm determined to do it this week. We shall see what's the plan later. All right. Panjang lebar, we already talked about him. Let's go to the team of the week. Just touch whether there is some information, especially to Afosz who thinking to pick the players for this week on Wildcard. Team of the week, Flecken with 9 points. With the touch on that, I don't think people will expect Newcastle loss at home. We expect Newcastle to win. I said somewhere in the mix, but it's not meant to be. West Ham win 2-0. And Wan-Bissaka, who scored one of the goal, clean sheet, and he got all 3 bonus points. So you can see there, Wan-Bissaka 15 and Emerson 9 without any bonus point, but he got 1 assist. So that's where the West Ham defender is here. Pedro Porro, I don't know whether you still have him, but if you have him and you play against City, kudos to you. You got 14 points because he scored a goal and then a clean sheet, 2 bonus points. Madison got 3 bonus points, 2 goals, 60 points there, and Vaz of 30 points. Sa from Crystal Palace, Saka, who not declare whether he's going to fit for this game. He actually turned up with a goal and an assist and 3 bonus points there. Salah, as been mentioned already, 2 goals. Despite yellow carded, it's okay. You still got that point and 3 bonus points, right? Yeah, if I'm right. Salah, 2 or 3? Okay, so 3. Enzo, nobody, 2. Enzo, nobody expect he got that 12 points. No Palmer in here. Afosz used his 3 transfer, is it, if I'm right, to bring in Palmer, and he did not deliver, like everyone mentioned. Cunha, 16 points. Kudos whoever go to Cunha instead of Fran Larsen. It's a big thing when compare in terms of point, despite Fran Larsen still deliver 1 assist last week. And João Pedro, people talking about that. He suddenly appeared to score a goal and 1 assist. And now he is on everyone's radar for this week, especially when touch later Fox fixture, Gameweek 13. They have really good fixture at home again. Southampton, who else? So what you can make up, Ben, team of the week or anything else you want to touch about the matches happening last week?
Well, just that, the thing with Pedro is so attractive is also because he's so cheap. you know, at that
That's
price
lovely.
point, he's delivering. He's just done back-to-back doubles. Yeah. So it's not unthinkable for us to want to have him, because you know, with him it just frees up more money for other areas. You know, we can buy more on premiums. So just a quick scan of that. Yeah, there's some who are not our regulars, but there's some who are. Of course, yeah, Salah, Saka, Cunha make the list. Then Enzo, the problem with Enzo, the reason that he won't make these lists is because people are always gonna look at that midfield and think, why do I want to buy Enzo? I want, you know, when I can have Palmer. So because Palmer is more
Yep.
effective and is supposed to be more productive in
Supposedly,
terms
yeah.
of goals based on last season, and he's already had a hat trick already, Palmer, this season. Was it a hat trick or two?
That,
4 goals.
a trick assist and another one for goals.
4 goals, right?
goals,
Yeah. So he's
Yep.
already got there. So why go for a cheaper midfield Chelsea when you can just go for Palmer? Then I wouldn't worry too much. Crystal Palace when Eze comes back, I don't know how that changes. I don't see much in terms of other options other than Pedro and Cunha to pick up. Saka and Salah is nothing to worry about. But everyone else is, well, those with Flecken, yeah, well done. So, but yeah, I wouldn't bank on it so much.
So I think the result from game week 12, if I may say, I think the short result will definitely Fulham lost 1-4 to Wolves, and now people are opening up eyes for Wolves player, especially on
Exact.
Cunha, yeah. And then Man City, okay, but they are on bad form. I'm not sure whether there is a fluke result for Spurs, and suddenly the prospect of Madison, Solanke, Pedro could come in. Maybe that can be still the case. Liverpool still winning the game despite their grinding result. Okay, Salah still the man. Newcastle lost to West Ham. I think that could be another surprise result. We do expect they win, right? And West Ham have been woeful, but they're not. So whether that is on the West Ham side, which is they perform, or Newcastle playing badly. But when I saw that highlight, Newcastle did actually create a lot of chance, and I said, do get a goal rule offside. So it could easily be different if they say that goal count, and I said will be in this frame. So I go to Afosz on the result, but especially later you can touch on the forwards, Cunha and Pedro, which is what people are looking at. Are they the one that people should target moving forward?
Yeah. João Pedro, I mean, for myself, it's like thinking of trying to set up during the game week 1 setting up. So we like João Pedro because the fact that he's the penalty taker for Brighton, but in terms of open play, it has always been so far Welbeck is the one getting shots and the most upfront as the attacker, because I think this game João Pedro scored from a rebound, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, most of the time he's been scoring from that rebound ball. So let's say, for example, Welbeck took a shot and then somehow got saved and whatnot, and then Pedro continues that momentum and score that goal. So yeah, I think the fact that his price is relatively cheap, so, and he's a penalty taker, why not pick Pedro? And then Cunha, I think I remember the one time that Azmin brought in Cunha and somehow slightly regret because he's slightly expensive, but I don't think that's the important point, that he got points from Cunha as opposed to choose Strand Larsen just to save that 1 million to spread elsewhere. So I think, well then, people have been looking overlooked on Cunha. Even for myself, I think moving forward, I might be, yeah, might be like, I already picked Cunha.
Alright. Later we look at your draft team, and I just want to show this Wenger feedback. Should I get Wood or Welbeck for my forward? Of course, you're someone who has Wood prior to this, and Wenger did ask should he got this Chris Wood during this festive season. But the most important thing, Forest fixture are turning, although they play Ipswich this week, but they have some bad fixture. What do you think about Wood? Is it someone that if you still have him, keep, or
For someone who already hold Wood for so long and then already let go Wood, so I'm suggesting to get Welbeck instead. I don't want to. Yeah, looking at the field fixtures that Forest might not have a really good fixtures run later after Ipswich. We have City, United, and then Spurs. So it might be tough, but even in the past weeks, Wood also have been scoring, and then so I don't see that any difference between Welbeck and Wood. But if you like fixtures, then maybe Welbeck is the one to choose.
Just to summarize everything, I think the last point I just want to make is Leicester lost 1-2 to Chelsea, and that cost Steve Cooper job. He already sacked by Leicester. What do you think? He has like few matches, but suddenly Leicester decided to part way. So do you feel it's too early?
Yeah, it's the case of the ex-Leicester manager getting the new Leicester manager fired. But to be fair, it was a poison chalice for Steve Cooper. It was always going to be tough because he was from Forest, rival, who are quite rivals, so there are a lot of fans who didn't like it, and the tactics against Chelsea were just terrible. It just looked like they weren't even trying to score or trying to attack, and it was just a case of waiting to see what happened. But as a result, Chelsea unfortunately didn't capitalize. It could have been a real massive score. So it was only like towards the end when suddenly Leicester managed to win a penalty and said, "Hey, can we get something?" It was like so. I'm not surprised that I'm a bit surprised at the timing. I thought they would give it a bit more time and not lose against Chelsea because you're not going to expect to win. But maybe if you lost against smaller teams, but it was coming lah. It surprised me. I thought West Ham Lopetegui would be the next one off, but because they are not in the relegation zone, Leicester, so they did have have 3 wins, but it wasn't enough, I guess.
Okay, fair. I'm not sure Afosz there or not. I just want to have his thought. First match of Amorim in charge to Ipswich. We at least have a glimpse of how Manchester United line up, and we can see Rashford got a goal there, but still early days. Bruno no return, although he has like 3 shots. So still early days for Amorim. I'm not sure whether it's still a team to target. I think it's more to still look and see, right? What do you think? Afosz, after the first game, Amorim?
Yeah, I think people have high expectation on Amorim, especially to turn the tables around for Manchester United. But the fact that people have high hopes on the first game, especially against newly promoted team like Ipswich, people expected to have a really good result, but just a draw. From my point of view, I like to think that maybe Amorim tried to give face to McKenna because he used to coach the youth team from Manchester United. So I would heavily expect that, especially Manchester United playing at home against Everton this week. So I would say that this is the game to watch, whether or not Amorim really can turn how Manchester United plays and provide a better result.
Okay, I think we can see some glimpse. I don't know. I'm excited Rashford to score the goal, but he's been substituted out quite early, if I'm right.
Yep.
So I'm not sure whether he's an option, but Bruno's still the main man for Manchester. But there's some interesting pick if you think Ahmad could actually play on the wing back, right? Garnacho, we see Dalo, we see Mazrui also featured. But I think we need more information to understand better whether this could be the lineup that Amorim will stick. We shall see the next game. Okay. All right. I think that's our thoughts on match day 12. But before we go to our first team, let's take a look at the fixture ticker. So to give like a better perspective for Afosz when deciding his team. And from this fixture ticker, Gameweek 12, 13, 12 is already over, up to 20, which is early January. So we can see in the next 8, Arsenal and Chelsea on top. I also look at some people who double up in Arsenal, got their rewards last week, whether in the form of Raya or Gabriel, or Saliba Gabriel, or Timber Gabriel. If let's say you do that, you have an extra edge with someone who only have one Arsenal defender. So that could still be the case because their rank still nice. Saka still the main man, and looks like maybe he's the one also to target in midfield. For Chelsea, I'm not sure about Enzo. I don't think I'm going to suggest Enzo in this team, despite his score at 12 points. Palmer still the man. He could easily got a goal. If not, Maduka obstruct his chance to score a goal. But Chelsea has still reached decent run. And as we all know, Chelsea are not involved. They're involved in European Conference League, but Palmer is not involved in that competition. So he's secure in terms of minutes and also rest. But people already start questioning 3 blank in a row now for Palmer. And people got itchy whether he's the right player to get. So I'm not sure. But I still feel with this fixture, you stick with Palmer and just leave him until Gameweek 20 and so on. That's Wolves still in the top ticker. People talk about Cunha. It should be in the frame. Ipswich, Leicester in the next 5 or 6 games. Botsman, I think like people like Cunha or other player, I think Cunha number 1 for Wolves, if you're thinking. Okay. Botsman, I'm not sure I'm going to suggest Semenyo. He's going to be the suspended in Gameweek 13. I'm a bit frustrated. I think if you want to go Bothman, I think Ivan Nielsen maybe the choice, not Semenyo, but maybe my bias because Semenyo has failed me. He already returned only 1 game, I think 1 assist, and when he returned at 10 points, it's against City, I bench him. So I cannot recommend him, but Bothman still have nice fixture. And also Brighton, definitely nice entry point against Southampton this week. If you think about Welbeck, João Pedro, if you think about Mitoma, if you want, maybe this is the right time to get Brighton fixture up to Gameweek 19 before they face Arsenal in Gameweek 20. Spurs to an extent, but they face Chelsea, Liverpool, somewhere there, and Newcastle in the next 8. So I'm not sure on that, but people who have Solanke thinking if he doesn't move to that player, he's still there. In the bottom 3, Everton, as been mentioned, it's a no-go, DCL, Michaelenko, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. Wow. Game week 15 and 18 onwards. Manchester United this week. I'm not sure whether you want to play them. Wolves at home. Wolves, you know they already perform right now. Manchester United have tough fixture. Okay, after Everton, Arsenal, City, and then Liverpool in the next 5 or 6 game. So it's wait and see, maybe. But Afosz might be biased on that, but his choice on his team. Leicester, another one. Despite Brentford, West Ham, Brighton, first 3, then after that, Newcastle, Liverpool, Man City. So maybe not so great on the fixture. So let Azmin comment first. Fixture ticker. If someone are wildcarding this week, like Afosz, what structure you're going to suggest?
Obviously, avoid Everton, lah, of course. Just want to do a quick stat. The Everton had 50 plus shots in November and failed to score a single goal. So that just shows you how bad they are. Let's see what happens where they are at after game week 19. They could be staring at the wrong side of the barrel. In terms of wildcarding, because you've got assets who are coming into form and they are available at a decent price. You've got Arsenal coming back, doing well, keeping a clean sheet against Forest, they managed to win against Liverpool, but and Arsenal have defied the odds and just enough into this excellent run of fixtures. So definitely you need to look at Arsenal players. Chelsea as well, Chelsea, Wolves, and Brighton as well. All these players whose players have been scoring. Maybe not Chelsea, but definitely Jackson. Wolves has Cunha, and Brighton has Pedro, all coming into this game week 13 in top form. So you definitely want to get in on it because it's not a case of chasing points, because it's just the fact that they are in form, they are doing well. So you should consider them. You can't be accused of chasing points. So it's just finding the right balance, and in Afosz case, of course, it's even more good for him because he's doing the wildcard. But for everyone else, you should start looking to aim, because even after the first in game week 13 and game week 14 onwards, you need to it gets better. Chelsea plays Southampton, Wolves play Everton, Brighton of course play Fulham, but we've seen that Fulham can be scored against, as we saw Wolves. So you definitely want to get these players in, and you need to pick these people as part of your team. Spurs, I'm not so sure. They're so hard to predict, this Spurs team. For me, I would avoid Spurs if you must.
Okay.
And look elsewhere.
I just want to mention, man, you did touch about Rahul and Fulham asset. Look at their fixture. They are turning red after this, especially Spurs, if you can consider that. Brighton's not someone that we can take lightly also. Arsenal, then Liverpool, and somewhere there also Chelsea. So there's a case people are looking over that. I'm definitely not going to suggest Rahul at this juncture, definitely. So the people that you should look at, Cunha, João Pedro, those are the teams that you should look at. Right?
Okay, so the philosophy is basically that you need to pick players who are more likely to start than not. You want players who will start and probably subbed off early, rather than players who start and then the next match they may not play or they may not start. So Rahul is one of those players who there's a ready set replacement in Muniz who can easily come in to start. So not an issue. So you want to avoid that kind of player. You'll find there's quite a few of these players in other teams as well. So you need to do your research and see and find the players who are pretty much irreplaceable. And that's the problem with Chelsea, because Chelsea fall into that part where they can be replaced if need be. So you probably want to go for the sure ones, those who are clearly in great form. Jackson is one, and even Palmer, who although he's not in form, but he's still very important to the side, and it's unlikely that he'll be rotated out. So you need to take all that into consideration.
I just want to point out, Azmin mentioned about that. If someone goes for Pedro Neto in game week 12, they suffered, right? Because Neto did not play in the team. So after international break, anything can happen. Did bench? Who else? Johnson bench. Neto did not play. There's some Woods bench, right? So that's just after international break. But after this should normalize.
But it's a bit tough because in the last international break and then the game back, Wood started. He wasn't benched.
Exactly.
So it's a bit of a tough. But this is one reason why I'm always this season I'm reluctant to wildcard immediately after international breaks. I'd rather wait for at least one more week to see, because there's always the rent. I mean, Arsenal, Havertz benched. Didn't even get any minutes.
Any minutes? Okay.
No, he wasn't subbed out. And the reason I know this is because I saw a team who had Havertz. Havertz didn't start. You know who was on the bench?
Don't tell me Cunha.
Wan-Bissaka.
Oh, wow!
That's incredible, right?
That's
amazing. Okay, so I mean, well done to him. He got luck on his side, but
Okay. I just want to point out to Afosz when I pushed last week to wildcard. I think maybe saving grace because you did not do it. Because if let's say you do it last week, you could have a different set of players. Because Now, after last week result, maybe people talk about Isaac. Now maybe Jackson in the conversation, maybe. So that could be a potential. Maybe now double Arsenal defense, because last week we don't touch on that. You are heavily on Bruno, but I'm not sure whether you're still the same this week. But let's jump to your team, Afosz, to just talk through your wildcard draft team. Yes, go ahead, Afosz.
Okay. So from this setup, I already utilized my whole budget, my whole funds, so zero balance in the bank. So let's talk about the front line first. Jackson, I already have some spare because I beat Jackson previously. I had
Okay, all right.
Isaac, so I can have Isaac over Jackson. That makes me zero balance in the bank. So looking at how Newcastle plays against West Ham and Isaac's not retaining points, I think I have a good feeling that because I'm a bit skeptical on Isaac because how he performs starting from game week 1 for someone like me who owns him and decided to dump him along the line. So I think I'm comfortable by having Jackson to support Palmer because looking at it, Chelsea have better performance, I would say. And João Pedro, if I did wildcard last week, I would not have picked João Pedro. I might have
Okay.
picked Welbeck instead because the argument that Welbeck is the one is the priority attacker. João Pedro, should he score, he get the rebound ball and whatnot. But based on last week and his price, I think that why not having João Pedro in the lineup and looking at Brighton fixtures. So he's still a decent forward as an attacker. And Cunha also, I think the argument that whether to pick Strand Larsen or Cunha in the past 2 weeks or so, turns out that Cunha is the better pick over Strand Larsen, despite we wanted to save 1 million or what to distribute elsewhere. So in terms of Wolves attacker, Cunha is the main man to be in your team if you want to have Wolves in your squad. And then looking at midfield, no brainer there. Salah, Palmer, Saka, straightforward. The key players of each team who can score, who can provide assists, goal involvement very high. And like you mentioned previously, Hafiz, Bruno Fernandes, it's a bias pick, I would say. It's a bias pick. I have a good feeling at the moment.
Okay. Right.
It might be it might be a false hope, but I really have a high expectation on Amorim to turn Manchester United's performance. So in terms of those who are involving, I would say that Bruno Fernandes is the key player to be involved in terms of attacking, providing assists, who can score. And then of course Rodgers, I would pick any other fifth midfielder. Rodgers is I would say the best pick in terms of attacking. Once in a while he can give you points. You don't really have much regret of benching him should you need to bench
I can see you bench most of the time Rodgers, so you play all players.
I don't think I will bench any of those forward, even João Pedro. So Rodgers is the most of the time will be benched from this lineup. And then looking at the defenders, Gabriel Hall, Mazraoui, Howard Bellis, and Aïnouri. Aïnouri is the second pick from Wolves. That looking at the good fixtures, you need to consider having maybe two of the Wolves assets. So Aïnouri is the best player after Cunha. And then Mazraoui is just another bias pick. It can be easily replaced by another maybe Brighton Brighton
Okay,
defenders.
all right, fair,
Yeah.
fair.
Should you be looking at what they call fixtures?
Yeah.
Yeah. Howard Bellis is, yeah. I'll just kill this position. He might not be playing or rotated.
Yeah, you just take one of the player that you have from the beginning, right? So okay.
Yeah. If I need to transfer him out, it's just not worth it, for another 4.0 or
Yeah.
what. So might as well just keep it. He's still at the moment. I'll see.
Maybe you want to
For
comment on Henderson?
Henderson, yeah. Okay. By freeing up some funds, moving from Isaac to Jackson, I have another 0.6, so I can upgrade Henderson for another extra 0.1 or 0.1 or maybe even, yeah, another 0.1, 4.5, 4.6 of keeper. But I don't think it's worth it to consider maybe Flecken. It's just better of more or less the same. I don't think
Henderson from the
want to
beginning. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I want to replace Henderson with maybe the likes of Ulrich. Ulrich from Ipswich, right?
Muri is
Yeah,
which? Yes.
Ipswich. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure yet, but at the moment I'm keeping Henderson. It's
Azmin,
okay. Really safe penalty from.
yeah. I think maybe that makes a difference when you decide in the keeper. He already produced last week. So, I mean, a quick one from you in terms of Afosz drafting.
Oh, he's more loyal with Henderson than I am. But I guess if that's how you're going to use Rogers as mainly as a sub, then I'm fine because I am, as someone who's had Rogers since the start, like you, I have concerns about him. And Emery did mention once that the problem is his final product, the decision making in the final third. He's great at carrying the ball, pushing forward and bringing it, but at the end, it's not happening as much as Emery would like to. And of course, the other thing, I'm worried that the Champions League will definitely interfere with Rodgers, and we've seen it already disrupting Villa in certain ways. So that's why my concern there lah. I love your forward lineup. It's something that I wonder whether I can do the same. But and I'm sharing your thing with Isaac, and the thing with Isaac is, although of course I'm relieved that he blanked, but at the same time I'm worried a bit about his injury record, and will he be able to go through all the matches in December? I'm not so sure. Plus the fact that one thing, and this is something, Afosz, because you may have, if you had wildcarded last week, you may have brought it Isaac. The one thing that happened this morning is Callum Wilson was on the bench and he came in as a
he played
sub.
something like.
Yeah, I was like, when I didn't even know he was ready to return. So that's yeah. So that's another factor that has to come into play when deciding whether or not Isaac is the best pick to pick, because at the moment it looks like Jackson is better. Now the problem with Jackson, of course, he still has that extra yellow card there to get suspended, but it's gonna happen. If it happens, it happens. So but of course you hope that it doesn't happen this weekend, because then midweek against Southampton, which is the match you would want him for. Yeah, so that's the thing. But other than that, Saka, Palmer, Salah, I'm okay with. Fernandez, I'm not so confident that he will be there yet. I'm not sure whether be that far. But that is your prerogative lah. City fan, so I'm not gonna push that one. Yeah, but otherwise, it looks good team.
Yeah, I think one point that I want to make, if let's say my team, definitely I won't have Bruno there. But when people talk about template staying with Mbomo, I think just a quick one in terms of fixture ticker just now, in terms of Brentford, they have Leicester this week. But after that, they face some tough fixture coming up. Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, and then maybe Arsenal somewhere there. And people talking about maybe Mbomo is not the one after you picking Salah, Saka, Palmer is fourth. Maybe you could go for someone else, which I'm not sure who. If not, you're going for Bruno. Who else can provide you that unless you go cheap? Okay. If you have like Semenyo, Smith Rowe, or someone like a Brighton midfielder, if you trust their lineup. But if I have the fund, I think I'm going to go double defense for Arsenal, whether in the form of Raya, Saliba on top of Gabriel. That might what I do, because just want to take advantage of the Arsenal fixture. But other than that, the rest explanatory. I think you can go Hall, Mazrui, I'm okay. I do think if I do now, maybe I won't have Konate. I will go another Arsenal defense. But it's still really good team moving forward. Definitely, I envy you. I would love to have this team, definitely.
I find it cute that one of Hafiz wildcarded in 6, as myself 9 and Afosz 13. So nice pattern. So with Afosz, that's it. All our wildcards are done for now.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's take a look at Gameweek fixture for 13. We deliberate so much on the team, but who actually playing who this week? It will be Friday night deadline. I mean, you did mention that. Jangan lupa to save your team or make your transfer, because Friday 4 a.m. Brighton versus Southampton. This is the money ball game that people are looking at. If you have João Pedro, this could be a big game for him. Then on Saturday, we have 4 fixture at 11 p.m. Malaysian time. Brentford versus Leicester. Nice on paper from Brentford. Leicester could go managerless this game, right? I'm not sure whether Leicester has the time to replace with someone. Okay. We have Palace versus Newcastle. Interesting game. Newcastle lost. Palace managed to get the draw. What will happen in this game? So people will look at whether the likes of Asset could come back, the likes of Sa continue, Mateta could come in to dominate the game. Forest versus Ipswich. If you have Wood, definitely this is the game that you're looking forward to. If you have Tels, I think Azmin have Tels, you definitely play him this week. We are expected to keep a clean sheet. And Wolves versus Bournemouth. Anything could happen in this game. So they both will attack. We then have West Ham versus Arsenal. After that West Ham result, 2-0 against Newcastle, now suddenly this looks like a tough fixture away to Arsenal. But it's still Arsenal, right? So 1:30 a.m. On Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have Chelsea versus Villa. Really, both teams are also decent on paper. Manchester United versus Everton. We want to look at first game in charge at home for Amorim against Everton, who I don't know what to say. Even they cannot score a goal. I think this could easily be a clean sheet for Manchester United team. Spurs versus Fulham. Which Spurs team they're going to turn up this game? The Ipswich one or the Man City game one? But Fulham will definitely go attack. And the biggest of all, Liverpool versus Man City. But I do expect, I don't know what's going to happen in the Champions League with that kind of form 4-0. I do believe Liverpool going to win this game, and Salah should be in the mix. So I go into Azmin. Fixture for Game Week 13. What excites you?
Liverpool versus City, of course.
Okay.
From a footballing perspective, yeah, definitely Liverpool versus City. And good that they make it the last match, because you want to just enjoy, and it's unlikely that people will captain Salah for this one. But there's a bit of a wave of saying that, look at the City's defense. Of course, we got to captain Salah, so we don't know. But but to be fair, City against their rivals per se, they suddenly turn up. You never know, but you're right. We need to look at those Champions League matches to see what happens there, and whether or not this, it might have an impact. But other than that, there's quite a lot. You're right. There's quite a lot of interesting matches due to the state of play. You got that Crystal Palace who managed to secure a good draw against Villa, against Newcastle, who had a shock loss. Then you have Forest, who are in relatively bad form at the moment. And then you have Ipswich, who managed to secure a draw against Manchester United. Then just now you mentioned West Ham. sudden, after drawing against Everton, then they managed to conjure up a totally unexpected win against Newcastle, and they play against a resurgent Arsenal. So there's plenty of good, interesting matches. I do think that Chelsea Aston Villa game could be a money ball match as well, because Villa's, depending on whether any of Villa's players come back for it. At the same time, Villa also has Champions League to contend
Yep.
with.
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel that match could be a horror show for Villa if they're not careful.
Okay, right. I mean, so Afosz, I know your interest on Manchester United versus Everton at home, first game for Emery. What else? Looking at your team, definitely you have some interest.
I think Brighton versus Southampton game, the one that got me interested. By looking at my previous draft, I might consider having another Brighton player in the form of defenders, maybe.
Okay.
So I'm not so sure, but yeah, at the moment, of course, I'm excited for Manchester United versus Everton's game, and next one most probably Chelsea versus Everton also, and of course the Brighton against Southampton.
All right, fair. I don't have the odds, but I think we can share when we have those. But let's take a look at captain pick, because Azmin already touched about who should be captain this week. He mentioned about maybe we should not go for Liverpool, but that is a case for Salah, right? So let's look at points prediction from Fantasy Football Hub members area. Gameweek 13 points prediction. Surprise. Number 1, Salah on top with predicted point of 7.5. And another person who are not in this top 5 list is Mr. Halin himself. All right. So no more into the conversation. Second is Palmer playing at home against Villa, slightly lower, 7.2 than Salah. Saka playing away to West Ham. West Ham has been in different form before that game against Newcastle. Chris Wood at Ipswich at home, still interesting. I think that he could be a decent pick. And then Son, Spurs playing Fulham at home. Son minutes maybe still uncertain, but he's still the main man. He's the captain for the team. So main captain pick for this week, you have been loyal to Salah, and they're playing City at home this week. What do you think?
I'm really looking at a player who I don't have yet, which is probably Cole Palmer. Just for the reasons I just mentioned just now, that I feel that Chelsea Villa game could really destroy Villa if they're not careful. And because just now we mentioned Konza, Kamara, and the other guy Onana were all not around. So if they're still not back for this weekend's matches, then I might double up on Chelsea attack actually and Captain Palmer. So that's where I'm looking at right now. Saka is also another option but I may have to choose between Palmer and Saka if I don't go for both. I can. But of course that West Ham resurgence is, I need to assess. Is that just a blip? Is that just a randomness? Or is it something that they have a resurgence, but Arsenal will be too good for them? So that's something that I need to assess. And at the moment, I haven't seen the highlights from the West Ham Newcastle match yet, so I need to take a look at that.
Right.
So yeah. But I have to admit, Pedro might be a captain option as well.
João Pedro. Okay.
Yeah. Simply because they play the bottom guys in the league, Southampton, and if you've watched the Liverpool Southampton match, they like passing out from the back, even when so many players there. They passed right into a crowd of Liverpool players with one Southampton player there. He just panicked and was terrible. And it looks like they're going to continue doing. So, yeah, someone like Pedro, he's such a predator. He's going to be there for it.
Yeah, I think that's a nice option, but you actually go for Palmer, right? How about Afosz? who will be your captain pick for this week?
Yeah, I think most probably the same like Azmin, Palmer. I might captain Palmer because Salah, even though Salah is good, but against City is very tough fixture. I'm expecting a draw game, uh, 1-1 maybe. I think just looking at the past previous result, head to head, Liverpool versus Chelsea have been always around 1-1 or so. So yeah, I don't think I'm captaining Salah. I might captain Palmer. Saka, the fact that he's playing away, looking at the
Yeah.
past result, has not been. Yeah, he can still give good points, but in terms of expecting double digits, I don't expect or it to be the fact for Saka, and yeah, maybe just go for Palmer because he's playing at home against not so good Villa.
Okay, fair. This Saka playing away, Arsenal playing away also a factor. I think playing away is
Yeah.
much tougher than playing at home. João Pedro, early kickoff. I'm not sure whether people will go there, despite Brighton playing the bottom league team, Southampton. But Brighton do play at home early kickoff. That's superstition from some FPL managers. Chris Wood could be decent, but I think Palmer easily the best captain over Wood. I do believe we will have a split decision for captaincy, a close one like this week where Haaland and Salah slightly, but I still feel people will go Salah. And my own feeling, I have not owning Salah for a while. I'm going to look at how I'm going to get in Salah, and I might probably captain him because I do believe Liverpool are really on form and City really off form, and that could be another thrashing this week. Liverpool can do that. That's my first feeling. Okay, we already ran through the captain pick. Let's go to our team pick, main. Because Afosz already showed his team. I go to, is it my team first? Yep, my team first. I have 1.7 million in the bank on only one free transfer. I decided to part away from TAA last week and get in Konate, who gave me a fat 0 point last week. So what I will do this week, I have Foden and Haaland to address, definitely. I also have concern on Rahul, I have also issue on Semenyo, who will be suspended this week. So there's plenty of action in my team that I need to address. But I do feel the move that I'm going to make is, for the first time, I'm going to pick a hit this week, which is Foden and Haaland will be out for Salah and João Pedro. Really nice option coming in. Despite Liverpool play City, I do feel Liverpool are going to win this game. And if Liverpool going to win this game, who else going to be in the goal involvement? Who are going to be scoring? It's definitely Salah. He just need one or two chances and to put that ball into the net. I do feel Salah is essential now. I'm going to beat you guys now. No Haaland after this. But also thinking to make another move, because if Semenyo is suspended, I have to play Rodgers. I'm not sure whether I want to play him away to Chelsea. I might take another hit. -8. So be it. Worst can happen at 5 million rank, right? The worst, we can just go deeper to 10 million rank or what. But I do feel there is a case to take Saka. Despite playing away to West Ham could play differently, and Arsenal on form, Saka on form with 1 goal assist. I do believe if nothing, barring any injury during Champions League matches during the midweek, I do feel the needs to bring in Saka. -8, so be it, because I want to perfect Palmer, Salah, and Saka. I don't want to miss that boat anymore. So I think that's what I'm thinking to do this week. Okay, -8. Or what's your guys' opinion?
Wait. Who are you selling to bring in Salah and Pedro?
Foden.
Support. Full support.
Support.
Yeah. remove the City assets and let's wait until they find some form.
Yeah, definitely.
The Saka bit, I don't begrudge you taking that, to really fix up
Okay, fair.
the team. Saka for Rogers, is it? Or
I think I'm
Saka
gonna
for
replace Semenyo because I had enough with Semenyo.
Semenyo, yeah.
you've had enough with Semenyo?
Semenyo is a higher 5.7. Rogers, I bought him at 5.1, so I can save like 0.5 million there.
Oh, okay. All right.
So should you make that move, Semenyo to Saka, Foden to Salah, and Allen to João Pedro? How many you left in the bank? Tight zero.
Left in the bank. Some spare cash. I'm not sure how much, but there's some spare cash. Yeah.
In mind?
If you still have decent spare, I would suggest to hold at the moment. Just play Rogers against Chelsea because nothing to lose for your team because you don't have Chelsea defenders anyway. It just maybe a biased pick for you as a Chelsea fan. So, but if you have a really tight budget, if you bring in Saka this week and you have left with 0.0, then maybe you might consider.
So what happened is after I made that move, I have 2.6 million in the bank.
Nah, still banyak lagi. I think you can save for another week, maybe.
We shall see. I'm eager to have those partnership despite -8, but we shall see because I haven't taken any hit this season. I know Azmin haven't. Afosz already take a hit. I think it's time for me not to play too safe or conventional. If I feel that I want to make that move, I will make that move this week.
Hey, our roles are reversed, Hafiz.
All right. Okay.
Which is quite amazing for me.
Okay, let's go to your teammate.
All right, so
you have 4 free transfer, right, and 1 million in the bank.
Okay, so I have made my move on Sunday night. I immediately sold Haaland for Pedro. So I now have 3 transfers left and 10.6 million in the bank, which I don't know what I'm going to do with.
Very rich.
Okay.
Simpan dalam ASB.
So do ASB tu.
So you got Pedro, Cunha, and Raul, who will form my starting line at this point in time lah. Then McNeil needs to go, so I will be taking another transfer. And to be fair, I am just now I mentioned I'm looking at Palmer, I'm looking at Saka. But I haven't really and at the same time I'm looking at Jackson for Raul as well. So I want to follow in Afos's forward lineup.
Yeah.
You already closing
Jackson.
me from behind.
So
just blocking
the thing is that the last week's results, because this was a part of my plan in this week was to sell Haaland anyway, because the fixtures get worse. I was just hoping for some return against Spurs and it didn't happen. But I'm still the results that happened, which was West Ham suddenly winning and Palmer not so great against Leicester, so it's made me a bit more cautious. So I was in a rush. Pedro, I have no issues. Brighton against Southampton, run with it. Brighton's fixtures are the best, top ticker, so no problem.
Agree.
But so I'm still torn between Palmer and Saka. And part of me wants to take a punt somewhere as well, but yeah, I do have 3 transfers. So,
your role this season is to be safe, to pick safe player. Your role different this season.
It's a weekly struggle. Okay, don't to not do what I feel like doing. So, but I will wait and see what happens. Because both Palmer and Saka do have, Palmer doesn't, but Saka has the Champions League as well. So want to see what happens there. One thing though, I want to advise that I'm probably my policy, and which I hope other listeners follow along as well, is that let's try to manage how many players that we have who are also involved in the Champions League. You may want to look at, because if you have players like Pedro who are in such good form, they don't have any other competitions, no EFL Cup, no Champions League or Europe. So they will play most of the matches all the way up till the early Jan. So you probably want to look at that and achieve the right balance. Of course, you want game players like Gabriel and Saka, but let's not go too overboard because the benchings can happen. So yeah.
I agree. So I think because you mentioned you want to captain Palmer, I suppose that the move you're going to make. So you're going to get in Palmer and captain him because you did mention about Captaincy just now. So I think I think that could be the move that you're going to make. Palmer at home, Saka away. So maybe Palmer first before you go to Saka. You have three transfer anyway. So you could go
McNeil for Palmer.
Yeah,
McNeil for Palmer will be the most likely move. Correct.
Yeah, so you'll do that. So you'll use your 2-3 transfer. You can actually get Jackson for Raul for another transfer. You still have one more transfer you can do. You can play Jack Johnson at home against Fulham this week, which is still nice. So I feel you're in good shape, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, that's our team. Let's take some questions before we wrap up this session. Let's go. Let me take a look. All right, question. I think I'll ask this to Afosz. Sell Bruno to Saka. Is that an option? Mat Yo Anas. Thank you.
Maybe not this week. I want to see how Bruno turns out against Everton at home with Amorim. After Everton, then maybe. After all, Saka is playing away, so you can hold. Not bringing him in.
Fair. Right. Cunha for a hit. Is it worth it, man?
Yes.
I
mean, I watch it. I watched the highlights a couple of times, and oh my god, this guy, he loves it right now. He's in the zone.
Yep.
So yes.
Yep.
And you're just happy that he's in your team.
Yeah. That's the most important thing. And not start with Strand Larsen. Yes. Woods against Ipswich or Visa at home. Leicester, if you have this option, Afosz, your previous owner of Wood, who would you go?
Prefer Wood versus Ipswich at home.
Okay.
Yes. Forest have the worst fixture list. Their fixture ticker is worse than Brentford's. So,
yeah. Captaincy, Salah or Palmer, both of you chose Palmer over Salah, but talking about that again, is Salah still a better option than Palmer? What do you guys think?
It's not a better option. I would say it's a safe pick because after all, Salah is going to play in full. He's attacking. Should get a goal. Maybe Salah will get involved after all. So that's better.
All right. I think I can see a lot of questions, Bruno and Saka here, but I think Afosz already mentioned about that. How about this? Yeah. How about this? Welbeck for João Pedro, sideways move. Ben, would you do that?
No, I wouldn't actually. I think I agree that Welbeck and João Pedro is probably the better pick than Welbeck, and it's cheaper as well. But I don't think the benefit is enough to do a sideways move. If you could bring João Pedro as long together with Welbeck rather than instead of.
Right. Last question. To Afosz, Rashford is quite good. He play like central striker against Ipswich under Amorim first game. Buy or avoid? Would you suggest to buy?
I think Amorim tried to utilize or rather make him as the central forward, but at the moment I think it's more like a wait and see. To be honest.
Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. We are coming to the end. And don't forget the deadline will be on Friday night, which hopefully we do some deadline streaming. We shall see how. And most important thing, thank you all for joining the stream, and do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel and to receive our early notification. Okay, last word, Amin.
Could Leicester have a manager bounce? That's it.
I don't know who's going to come in. There's rumors like Potter, but I'm not sure whether that is true or not. Okay. Afosz, your last word. Might you say stay humble, guys.
Oi!
Stay humble, right?
Okay, thank you, Mayo.
Nice one. Afosz,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, last word. Early deadline. If you're wildcarding, don't forget to hit the wildcard button, especially for someone
you
like me,
yourself.
already made transfers.
Yeah.
Suddenly Friday very busy and feeling tired, and you fell asleep early and bangun
You
pagi,
forgot that
eh?
it's Friday. Yeah, you forgot that it's the Friday deadline. That someone heard. You just click save lah. What else you want to wait, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you want to affect the price changes. That's why.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. You have that luxury, fair. Okay.
Not sure whether that one person can affect so much.
I mean, compared to Wildcard 6, because there were so many Wildcard in 6 compared.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining, tuning to our stream. Wish all the best. I would like also wish the best to Afosz because he's definitely has wildcarded, and definitely when you wildcard, you want to have first good points on your first week result, right? So all the best to everyone, and I hope to see you guys again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.